do is I'm going to just click record now. Then I'm going to go and teach just a short piece on facial expressions. Someone's going to come in on the live on Instagram, and then I'm going to have be me and you and all of the team in the Facebook group to speak as well. Okay.
Fantastic.
Great. Okay. Excellent.
Awesome.
Okay. So I'm going to go live right now. We're recording. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you so much. Just going to put you on mute. Thank you, Octavia, going on mute. So welcome everybody. My name is Leighanne Turner and I'm a voiceover and speaking coach. And if you don't know me before, if you haven't met me before, I'm really grateful to see you. So as I said, I do voiceover and speaking coaching. Voiceover, you know, like I do voices for adverts, radio promos, things like that. Audiobooks, courses, things like that. Then with speaking coaching, I help mainly women speak more effectively in and about their business. So if you're a woman with a side hustle, you're going to want to listen to this class. So today, welcome everybody on Instagram. Welcome Maria. Hi Maria. And welcome Lucas. Welcome on the Instagram room. Welcome everybody in the Zoom room and from the Facebook group. Welcome Octavia, my special guest today. I can't wait to speak to you later as well. So thank you so much for joining. So welcome everybody. Now today I wanted to do, you know, each week I talk about, I don't know, some speaking skill, okay? But today I wanted to do one about facial expressions and why is it important that your facial expressions match what it is that you're actually going to say, okay? So I know that some of you may think, oh no, but my face doesn't say anything different, but it does. Do you know what I mean? So I really wanted to speak to you about the importance of having your facial expressions as well as all the other stuff that I talk about, right? This is in addition to all the other stuff I say about tone, quality, sounding confident, having the key person that you want to speak to. Those are in addition to that. I'm not saying forget them. Those are in addition to that. Okay. Now, facial expressions, right? Now, they help so much because sometimes you might not be saying anything vocally, right? But your face could be saying everything. So look at mine. Like I'll just do a face. Like, what am I saying with this? Like I'm saying I'm a bit sad or I'm thinking about something. So what it is that you're saying needs to be supported by your face because that can speak wonders. Because I could say, yeah, I'm really happy about this. I'm really excited, but my face is not matching it. So do you see what I'm saying? It's got a, they're a team, almost like a marriage. The voice and the face need to work together. Right, they got to go along with what you're saying, and I'm not telling you do a Jim Carrey and have your face going all different faces. That's not what I'm saying, okay? But what I'm saying is it just needs to be in support. So if you're saying happy stuff and you're saying this is going to be great for you, you need to be smiling and your eyes need to be wide and things like that. So your face needs to be in connection with what it is you're saying, and as well, you know, I talked about last week about the eye contact, the eye connection thing, right? When you're speaking to, it could be on the Zoom call, it could be on Instagram. Don't like, okay, this probably works better when it's face to face. Don't like do like, you know, the stare. Like, don't gaze into someone's eyes like you're at a restaurant or something. Like, give eye connection so you can feel that connection. You'll know it anyway, but don't just like stare at people like, that's scary. Because if you're on the front row or in the Zoom call and someone just looking at you all the time, it's a bit scary, it's a bit off-putting, and it can be distracting from what it is that you're actually saying. Does that make sense? Okay, so when you catch someone's eye, right, look in their eye and then smile, because that should make you feel more at ease and the person who's watching you more at ease. And then when you appear more friendlier, because people like friends, let's be honest, if you smile and you have the, you know, the kind of eye bright open stuff that looks like, oh, I'm interested in what you're saying, that, do you see what I'm saying? So eyebrows up, eyes open, and then all these things. And when you lean into someone, it's like, really? Do you see what I'm saying? I look like I'm interested in what you're saying with all of those facial expressions, the eyebrows up, the eyes open, nodding, and all these kind of lip pushes and things. Do what works for you. That's what works for me. I'm not saying that you've got to imitate my face. No, I'm saying do the facial expressions that work for you. Okay. So obviously, if you're doing something very serious like a eulogy at a funeral, keep a very solemn, straight face. Don't be doing no Jim Carrey thing like what I've just said. Don't do that, please. But when it's like something that you're trying to kind of tell someone this product is very great for you, I'd really love it for you, you've got to do the eyes up, the eyebrows up and eyes open. You've got to do that because it makes someone sound like, oh, this sounds exciting, etc. So facial expressions must they must support what you're saying. And so you've got to know what you're saying to your facial expressions and be very aware of what your face is doing. I don't know if you probably don't do this, but this is a little tip. In the mornings, right, when you're brushing your teeth, okay, brush your teeth, right, stuff, and just start kind of doing facial expressions. Talk and do it and practice and be very aware of what your face is saying, because your face needs to support what you're saying. Build a friendship very quickly, because people are not going to listen to you if they don't like you, right? So you might not even have the most smoothest Joanna Lumley voice. That doesn't matter. As long as you're looking like a friend and your face will bring that kind of friendship element, okay? And only do laughs, okay? I like and I enjoy a good laugh, but only do those if they support what it is that you're teaching, okay? And if you haven't got any facial expressions at all, I mean, everybody's got facial expression, whether it's cross or happy or like, oh, that's really interesting what you're saying there. So everyone's got a facial expression. So practice in the bathroom mirror. Practice at that time when you're brushing your teeth, because you're going to tell me, Leighanne, I don't have time. I don't have time to do it. You do have time. When you go and wash your face, when you wash your hands, look in the mirror and just practice them. Just practice them, practice them, practice them, okay? That's what I'd really 100% advise you to do. And your facial expressions make what it is you're saying that much more interesting. See what I'm saying? Because I didn't even say anything more interesting. I just kind of came closer and did my hands and my face, etc., to make it look like, oh, I got something really interesting I need to tell you. It's the facial expressions. Make sure they support what it is that you're saying, okay? It's your choice, whatever ones work for you, what suit what it is you're saying. Of course, if you're like on like a podcast or I don't know, other things, you don't really need to go there with it, but I'm just giving you some advice. Even when I'm doing like my voiceover work, if you see me in my studio, you think I could be the next like Oscar winning star, because I'm full on acting in there, even though you're only going to hear my voice. But you do need to act. You do need to put your face expressions into it, because all of this stuff comes out when you speak. Because imagine, like, I'm going to try it. Like, imagine if I don't talk, if I talk without the hands, and it's so hard, and not using my facial expressions, you can hear the difference in my voice. It's really hard to kind of sound very energetic and stuff unless you move and your face has got to move. Do you see what I'm saying? So put in that passion, put in that energy, put in that little oomph into it so that you can sound engaged. You could be talking about some boring math stuff, I don't know. But if you kind of put that little extra effort into it, people will like what they will first, hold on, they'll engage in what you say, then they'll like what you say, okay? So that was the tip for today. I wanted to talk about using your facial expressions to support what it is you're saying and sound interesting to your listeners, okay? Facial expressions, very, very key. Now, I always do every week like question and answers. So from the Facebook group, some people DM me all over the place. I love it. Thank you so much for your questions. So this week, right, this is the question. This is the question, right? Everybody ready? Everybody listening? Okay. Is it okay to read from notes during a presentation? Now, you might have a presentation on Zoom. You might, when we go back to our outside of our new normal, when we can actually go face to face with people, you might have a presentation to do in front of, I don't know, 2 people, 5 people, the stakeholders, 100 people, whatever it is. You got to do a presentation. Now, I am all for one in preparing, 100% I'm into preparing, but do not like read and get sheets and sheets and printed things, writing out full sentences and just reading. Do not go to a presentation, start reading your notes. I'm not going to a presentation to watch you can read. I went to school, you went to school, I know how to read. You know how to read, I know how to read. I'm not going to go to a presentation to hear that, oh, wow, you can read very nicely. No, I can read myself. What I would say, do not read from your notes. Have like maybe bullet points or have a topical map or something. But if you write sentence on sentence on sentence, you're going to just stick, the nerves will hold you. You're going to just stick like that and you're just going to read them word for word. So if you're going to do that, you might as well stay home. Nobody wants to listen to anyone read. So put little bullet points, maybe do pictures or like very, very simple notes and practice it. If it's something that obviously with stats and that, put the stats down because you don't want to be mucking up the numbers. But all the qualitative stuff, like the examples and things, just give little bullet points on it. Don't write sentences. Have notes, but don't read off from them. Let them be like, let me do a little French here. Let them be like an aide memoir for you. So you can just trigger your memories. And that is what you're going to use to kind of pace you through. Okay. So don't read from your notes. A simple sheet. It could be an A4. It could be on your tablet or your iPad, just with like the 5 free key points. And if you've practiced it and you've spoken about it, you've embedded it, not just in your head, they need to come from your heart, then you shouldn't need to be reading the notes. Okay. Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Lucas. I'm glad that you like it. Yay. Thank you so much. Have bullet points, have a roadmap. All right. Second question. If you've got a question that you want, feel free to jump in and put it down in the comments. I'm going to go to the second question now. What is the best way to start a presentation? Now, it depends on who your listeners are. You need to know this. Remember, I said this weeks ago. You need to know who you're talking to. You need to know who are your listeners, because that is what is key here. If you don't know who you're talking to, then you won't know what warm-up activity, what question, what exercise, what example to give them, will you? So what I would say is have something interesting to your audience. Like if you're going to a social media presentation or an online speaking thing, or you're doing a makeup one or a podcast one, have a relevant example that's going to grab your audience's attention from the beginning. Okay, that's what I'd really say. Do that. Or have an icebreaker question, something like, I don't know, like something about who eat the most donuts or something relevant to your industry. An icebreaker question. That's what I'd say the best way to start. Don't start a presentation with your notes or your topic first. Have a warm up or an icebreaker or an example, or show your holiday snaps if it's relevant for the talk that you're going to do. Okay. So I wanted to bring in on Instagram Live, I wanted to bring in my friend Lucas here. So Lucas on Instagram, are you ready to join me on the live? Please put in a request so I can speak to you and we can talk about today's topic and other things as well about speaking skills. So Lucas on Instagram, can you please give me a request for me, please, so that you can come in? I'm going to try and put you on live. Those of you on Zoom and in the Facebook group, obviously I'm doing it through Instagram as well. You can watch this part back, but I'll relay all the questions as well over as well. So I'm not sure, Lucas, why it's not. It says, Lucas, it says you can't join. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm going to just ask, can you join, Lucas? Can you join? Can you join? If anyone's got any questions about what I've shared today about facial expressions or things that you're struggling with, please do drop it in the comments. Okay, Lucas, whenever I try and go live with you, it says that I can't go live with you. I'm not too sure what's happening. Okay, so if anyone has any other questions, please do feel free to drop them in. I've answered all the questions from the group this week, which has been amazing. If there's any other questions you want to ask me, please feel free to kind of drop those in. Or if you're a bit too scared and you don't want to ask on live, I can 100% understand that. Then please DM them to me, because I really like to help and give advice and give tips on what I'm learning, what I've learned, the skills that I know, and the things that I know what will help you so you can speak effectively in your business and about your business. Because some people, as I was on a call earlier, some people have amazing side hustles or business and they are great cake designers, great dressmakers, but when you need them to talk about it or do a live presentation, it's like so I really want to help those particular people, in particular the women, because some women don't have confidence, very highly skilled in their business, but not full confident in expressing themselves how great they are in that business. Okay, Lucas, I'm going to try one more time. If not, I don't know why it's not working. I'm really sorry. Okay, so Lucas, it's not letting you join me on the live. I'm really sad because you want to hear Lucas speak. He's got a great voice and he's got loads and loads of great tips to share as well. So everyone on Instagram, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you so much, Lucas. Thank you so much, everybody who's watched and you're going to watch the replay. I'm really excited, going to watch the replay on IGTV. Great. If you've got any questions about facial expressions, speaking skills effectively, in particular, I'm trying to speak to the women who have a side hustle business, or want to learn how to speak more effectively in their business and about their business. Okay, those are the people I'm really trying to connect with as well. So I really wanted you guys to listen to Lucas. So he's a great voiceover, got loads of different tips and stuff, but I don't think it's going to happen today. Okay, no worries. So everybody on Instagram, thank you so much for coming on down. If you've got any questions, please feel free to DM me, comment below the video, and then I'll try and get your answers answered in the next week's video. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody who came in on Instagram. I'm going to say ciao and see you next week. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'm going to try and answer them in the video next week. Okay, and thank you so much, everybody, for waiting for me so patiently in the Zoom room and in the Facebook Facebook room as well. And I'm going to now come to, right, thank you so much, everybody. Now, I'm going to come now to the Zoom room. I'm going to take you off mute, Octavia. Octavia, can you hear me? Hi, Octavia. Okay, so Octavia, I can't quite hear you. Now, okay, so those of you in the Zoom room and on the Facebook room, okay, now I really want you to, whoops, I'm so sorry. I really want you to, we're going to have a one-to-one session now with, so you know technology, sometimes you just have to move stuff around. Okay, so I'm going to have a one-to-one session with Octavia. Here we go. I think she kind of disappeared, but she's back in the room now. Excellent. Octavia's just joining. Thank you so much. All right, so everyone who's watching on Facebook and on the replay on YouTube, we're just waiting for Octavia to join, and we're going to go through a quick session just for her to raise any points. Hi, Octavia. How are you? The network's going on and off. Okay, no worries. We'll keep it short then, because I know that sometimes the network can go on and off. Oh, okay. So Octavia's network's going on and off. It will. Hopefully she can rejoin. But those of you who are still watching, I'm so grateful. And I really just want to share loads of tips as well on just how you can really really improve the way you speak about your business and in your business as well. Just so you can be more effective. So I was speaking to someone earlier who's really, really great, and they've got a few clients themselves who is a cake baker. They do marketing, and they help market the work of a cake baker and also of, what was the other one? I can't remember, but because food's my favorite thing, you know, I'm going to remember that. So anyway, she helps to okay, so she helps to market this person. And what it is the person is a great cake baker, but when it comes to negotiating contracts, to do a live video of them setting up a cake, baking a cake, etc., they often go into like nervous mode or shutdown mode, or just don't know who to talk to and stuff. So oh yay, Octavia's joining now, everyone, so just get ready. So what I really love about it is that someone can be great and skilled at being a cake baker, but they may not be that great at you know, talking about their business, giving training and stuff like that. So Octavia's now joining us, which will be great. Hi Octavia, can you hear me? Oh, it keeps locking you off. Oh, hopefully you can get back in. Yep. So someone can be great. So I'm working with people who can be great at like a particular skill, but they're not necessarily that great at speaking about, talking about, this is how I design a cake. This is how you put the mix together. This is how you do the icing, things like that. Or when they go and negotiate a contract, they may feel timid or feel like, I can't ask for this. And that's often a lot of this rooted down. One second. A lot of this is rooted down into that dreaded imposter syndrome, which doesn't help anyone do anything. Okay. So, and I've got a podcast as well. So just going back about speaking effectively. Yes, it's all about how you speak, what you say. Pull it back one little bit. Yeah. I had a great podcast interview with Marissa Bailey Clements, and she spoke about, in a very unique way that I've never heard before, about imposter syndrome. Okay, I know this is slightly different from facial expressions, but I really want to bring it in here because some of you say that you can't speak or you feel nervous, all of these different things, but you can speak effectively, and you can do it well. But it's your own mindset saying that you can't. And Marissa Bailey Clements gives a really, really good example of imposter syndrome. Now, if you don't know what it is, that's basically when you say like, yes, I'm going to go and run the marathon. Your mind's like, nah, you can't do that, love. That's the imposter syndrome. And she said, what you got to do is take hold of this imposter syndrome and call it a name. She gives her imposter a name. It's called Linda. And then so when Linda pipes up and says, oh, you can't do that, Marissa, she says back to her, oh, so Linda, the imposter syndrome, what evidence you got? How do you know I can't run this business? How do you know I can't train people? How do you know I can't make this money? And of course, Linda ain't got any evidence to her, because that's what the imposter syndrome does. It always kind of constantly questions you and says you can't do this or you can't do that, etc. So I'm going to wait a little bit. I want you to really listen to that podcast. It's on go on to wherever you listen to the podcast on, whether on Spotify or on iTunes, etc. Go on there and you'll see the podcast. I think it might be number 191 maybe, and it talks about the imposter syndrome, which is often the reason why people are not advancing and not speaking effectively. That's what it is. Okay. Hi, Octavia. Welcome. Can you hear me? I think I can hear you. Okay, I'm just waiting for Octavia to just to unmute. Do you want to unmute, Octavia? Then we can speak.
Yes. Hi there I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You said the network's a bit choppy sometimes.
Fantastic. Apologies, my network is on and off. Hey.
Oh, okay, great to speak to you. It's so great to connect. I'm really grateful that you reached out to me as well all those weeks ago. That was really, really great. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful you came on today so that we can do our one-to-one session live. And I remember that you sent me some information, because you kindly filled out a form for me about how we can how I can help you with what you're doing. Can you tell me about like your business or your current situation?
Okay. I am currently an image consultant and also doing personal development coaching. The passion that I have is I've got the passion for the voiceover career that I want to take it professional, right? So I need my accountability partner for, my voice coaching, for my speaking career. And also initially, I don't know if you remember, I have also indicated that eventually I'd love to launch the speaking academy.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, Speaking Empowerment Academy. That will be my second leg of coaching or training with you for that matter. But for now, I'd love to really work on my the accent.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think also, when one is overwhelmed in the speaking platform, my accent or my voice has a way of sabotaging me. And when I feel nervous, and not just that, when I'm bored as well, you can immediately tell from my voice
Mm-hmm.
And hence I reached out to say, look, I want to have an accountability partner whereby all the time when I do my talks, when I do my presentation, when I do my training,
Yeah.
I'd love to record them and obviously send them through to you for our reflection session and for my personal growth, so it will be really effective when we have something that we look at,
Mm-hmm.
analyze together, and you give me a constructive feedback on where to improve in obviously in preparation for launching my speaking empowerment academy.
Academy. That sounds really
Yes,
great. Yeah.
I hope, I hope I've covered everything. Sorry, and I did not go back through the form that I completed just to double check that I'm including everything now. Hopefully you can still access
Yeah,
that.
I've got it, and it says, when I was just looking at it, what
Mhm.
we talked about was main problems, which I always ask everybody. And you said that the main problems were nerves when you're speaking, voice confidence projection,
Yeah.
disorganized when speaking, which are really key things as well.
Yeah.
Those are training elements, and the main places where you use your voice, you mentioned it's in running the business, presentations, training awards, meetings, and you wrote something called MCING. So MCing.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great. Okay,
That's right.
just
Yeah.
wanted to double check that that was what that was. Okay, and
I'm
the
glad that you have the form in front of you because
yeah,
it entails everything.
yeah, and so you speak English, and is it Isi Zulu? Is
That's
that
right.
okay? Good.
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
good.
And
Okay.
English it's my second language.
Second language. Okay, perfect. No worries. Okay, so let me just go through what I think would be some great pointers to really help you. I think it's really great that you, first of all, well done for coming on, because that shows that you really want to improve. I think that's
Thank
like,
you.
give yourself a clap for that.
Thank you so much also for being patient with me. I know my delay coming in has affected, the program. And I must say, you're already taking me out of my comfort zone because I didn't expect that our first session will do it live, eh?
There you go. Start on the ground running. Start on the ground running. Start on the ground running, definitely. And I think what is great, so you've kind of got a few different things. Okay, so what you've said today is you're very much interested in a voiceover career, a speaking career, and then launching a speaking empowerment academy, and those are like the same tool but quite a totally different audience as well.
Okay.
And but they all will feed into each other, though. And what I love about, obviously, voiceover, that's my first passion and stuff. And there's lots and lots of training that you can do, even with yourself, even if you're not booking any kind of, official voiceover works, like you're not doing adverts and audiobook recordings. There's always
Mm-hmm.
ways that you can
Mm-hmm.
prepare yourself for that. And those are things like, of course, reading out loud daily. Different types of scripts, could be a blog, an ebook, it could be a text, it could be poetry or a play. Read out loud, because sadly, I notice even in myself, when we're younger, we're trained to read out loud, but when we get older, very much more sophisticated, we just start reading in our heads for some reason. And
True.
that doesn't really help you train yourself, because some people say, I don't like my voice, but really they just don't like the sound of their voice. And when you speak, you hear your voice twice. You hear it inside in the inner ear first, then you hear it, this sound, the sound that comes out and goes into your ear. So sometimes you don't like the sound of your voice, but it might be the first version that you don't like. But you never hear your voice the way how other people hear it, because you hear it twice at the same time, first in and then the one that comes out. Voiceover career is definitely something that anyone can go after. It's not smooth sailing. You've got to do a lot of work to get in, it depends on where you want to do, and you've got to kind of think, what do you want to use your voice for?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do adverts, or do you want to do explainer videos, or read e-learning books? You've got to think of, what do you want to use your voice for, basically. And as well, there's a lot of things that I'd advise, like get coaching, get training, read lots of books, read out loud daily, go on YouTube a lot. There's so much information on it. I did a lot of workshops and stuff to prepare myself to do voiceover and stuff. I did a lot, and as well, I think listen to lots of styles to decide where do you want your voice to be. Because where would you say,
Okay.
Octavia, you think your voice would be best placed in the voiceover industry? Do you like doing like, the travel announcements or on radio or listening to audiobooks? You got to kind of think, where do you think you'll be best placed?
Sure. That's a very interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
And I still want to explore a few. I'll make an
Mm-hmm.
example. One of the things that I've done
Mm-hmm.
is TV presenting
Mm.
course, right? And I discovered that, you know what, during the course, before the course, I used to say one day I'd love to be a TV presenter,
Yeah.
But after going through the course, I just realized that I'm actually a talk show host more of a TV presenter, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So with the voiceovers as
Mm.
well, I have not yet found the specific area that I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, you know what, through the training, through the mentoring, through the
Mm.
coaching, I'll eventually find something that will speak to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, one
Yeah.
that I think I would love to specialize in is doing book recordings.
Yeah. Audiobooks.
Audiobooks, yes,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
yes, that. I think that I would love to specialize.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make an example. I might have one or two, three areas that I would be involved in, but the one that I want to specialize in and be known for as an expert, or you know, there's somebody to go to. It's really doing audiobooks recording. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really, really, audiobooks is really, really nice. Definitely if you get a great book. Um, and it's a lot of endurance, a lot of patience, a lot of re-records and that, but you'll really enjoy, if you like the long game, you'll really enjoy doing audiobooks, definitely. And I think it's really nice to kind of have a goal, and it's good that you've got a goal. You're like, I'd like to do audiobooks and stuff. And even with like your own, like where you're at now of your career, always, I'd
Mhm.
highly suggest that you always document what it is you're doing, whether you do a voice note or a journal or you video yourself each day, just so that in like a month or a year's time, you can go back and you can actually create your own audiobook about your journey so far, almost like a midway biography of your journey or career and how you've set up the business, how you've gone about it. And you kind of keep it as a record, but you can also do your own audiobook about you, because that will come with your
Right.
passion, with your drive, with your truth, with your story as well. So
Mhm.
always think about that and always document like how you've been progressing in the business. I think 100% would be great.
Oh,
Um,
that sounds
yeah,
great.
definitely think about it, because it's great to read other people's stuff, but sometimes their scripts they might not be interesting to you. They may not move your heart, but your story will move your heart and maybe someone else's, because it's about you and many people can relate as well.
I think I love that suggestion, because I'll make an example. You have mentioned that you empower business
Mhm,
owners to speak effectively in their
mhm,
businesses and about their businesses. I think it's one thing that I'm also struggling with.
mm.
It's very comfortable for me to sell others products and so on.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to really branding myself as a person, the CEO of the business, and
Mhm.
my services as well, sometimes I think I am self-sabotaging myself.
Yeah, can
Mm.
totally relate. Yeah. And that also links in, like, I hear when you say about self-sabotage, and that links as well for me when you say that. It kind of connects with me, because sometimes you can think I'm in this role or I'm doing this work, and there's questions. You question yourself: can I do it?
Mm,
Am I the
mm.
right person, etc. And all of that, this is even before you speak, all of that kind of pulls back to, which I was speaking to on a podcast recently, to a lady called Marissa Bailey Clements. It goes back to the imposter syndrome, which is the voice that tells you, you can't do that. Who are you to think that? You can't say that, all these different things. And it's really just grabbing hold of your mind and really telling your mind and giving yourself affirmations and retraining yourself just to say, I am, you'd get up, I am Octavia, I am the voiceover, I am the speaking career, I have a speaking career. I have launched this amazing speaking empowerment academy and stuff, to really say to yourself, to really train your mind, because what you say and how you say stuff is a reflection of what's going on in your mind as well. And so this imposter syndrome, she goes into it more on the podcast with Marissa Bailey Clements. She talks about you really need to name that voice in your head that says you can't do or keeps questioning you. And she calls hers Linda. And she says, oh, you can't. She says, Linda will say, you can't do that. And then she'll be like, what evidence do you have? And then, of course, your imposter syndrome has no evidence that you can't achieve all the goals and dreams in your life. And that's how you can just shut down and call off those kind of negative voices or thoughts in your mind and stuff. So I'd really encourage you to listen to that podcast and just listen to how she explains it, because many of us, but particularly women in business and trying to step into different industries or scale the business in a way, get lots of self-doubt, self-questions. And she gives this little quick technique on how to master this imposter syndrome. Then you'll notice progress and productivity in other areas of your business if you can master this imposter syndrome. Yeah, I've never heard it explained in that way. So yeah, with the voiceover stuff, I think definitely it's good that you want to do like audiobooks, and I really think have a goal one day, maybe 5 or 10 years time, you can voice your own audiobook about you, about your career or one part of your business, etc. And with the speaking career, now would that be connected to the academy, or is that separately when you're a keynote speaker? Is that separate?
I think it's also separate as an individual, my speaking career, but linking it to the academy, because I'm passionate about personal development coaching. And what I do, I would love to empower others to do that. I'll make an example, exactly what you are saying, to say, look, Octavia, you can actually do your audio book, how about then in my academy, also empower the authors to do their own audio book voiceover. You can imagine the connection when the author does his or her own book reading through the voiceovers. That will be phenomenal. And also in my academy, I've got different clients that would also love to improve in their speaking academy for career development, for personal branding. And I also have a very strength in pageantry. And in pageantry, yes, interviews are the cherry on top of pageantry. And to empower others how to sell yourself in an interview, how to be the ambassador of the community project that you're busy, because you become the spokesperson of that pageantry organization. And not just that, when we are involved in pageantry, we're very much hands-on also with community projects. And it's lovely to have that voice, somebody that will also be raising awareness about the organization, raising funds about the organization, and so on. And it becomes very easy when you know how to sell yourself as a brand, and also to sell the organization, and above that, giving back through your skills and talents and your voice. So I've got different pillars in the academy where I'd love to specialize in.
That sounds really great, like the structure of where you've got a vision of who it can help, where it can grow to, because definitely academy needs to be doing a lot of stuff. Definitely, I really like the vision that you've got there. And then it could also include kind of like, because your speaking career, I can see where it feed into it, where you can be also in-house training keynote speakers and then sending them out to go and do wherever they want to go and speak and stuff. I can see that happening within that.
Fantastic.
Academy.
I love that.
Definitely. If you're going to have an academy, I also train them in-house and then send them out. And then those are the points that you mentioned here. I just want to go back to your form. In the form, you talked about nerves when speaking. Let's hit nerves first. So nerves, I feel, it's good to have nerves because they kind of keep you on your toes a little bit. But it's able to let them push you rather than stop you from speaking. So whenever I get nervous, I'll go through like, Leighanne, I can do this. Anything is possible if you believe, from Mark 9:23. And I'm just like, I pick a friend in the audience or on the Zoom, or I just imagine one of my friends or my sisters. Always speak. If you've got to speak to 5, 10, 50 people, speak to that one person who you know is your support. Imagine them if they're not even in the room. Just imagine that person who always cheers you on. Speak to that person, and that will help you overcome, not saying get rid of, overcome the nerves stopping you from speaking. So I say imagine that friend who's your supporter, or just create one in your head who you can speak to. Definitely. That's how I'd encourage you with the nerves. Voice confidence and projection. Like now, a lot of stuff are being online, so you get a bit of help with a microphone and all of these stuff. But voice confidence and projection, that goes back to the mindset, and also practicing reading out loud daily, 10 or 15 minutes daily. Speaking very quietly at normal room length, and then also having your voice go louder. But I'm not really, and I think as well, because you speak two different languages, which the articulation is totally different, and it's also being aware consciously, how am I clearly articulating myself in my home language, then clearly articulating myself in English, and making sure that you're aware of just little things that you can do. It could be either your pace that you need to slow down. I think your pace is great. I think it's just being conscious of, which is a natural trait of your home language, of the R's, when you roll the R. Like, so it's very obvious that one of your home languages is from like a South African language base, because you can hear when you talk with the R's and they're rolling. But just to really just be conscious of that and just tone it down, just to improve the articulation so it's sharper in English. So I think that would help you with your voice confidence, just to be aware of just little words. Change the pace and the articulation just on some words, not everything, because I 100% understand you, but just to sharpen. And that depends on who your audience is. That's when I'd say you need to sharpen. If you're speaking to people from your home country, that'd be fine. Depends on who your audience is as well. That's when you need to be able to sharpen what you say, change the pace, the tone and rhythm, etc.
Fantastic.
And what do you think about that, Octavia, just about voice confidence, before we move on to the next point we wrote down?
It sounds great. It sounds great. I think exactly what you are saying, to say one becomes very conscious to say, okay, and then you think, or you double think what you want to say, and that delays the process, number one. And two, I think it interferes with my confidence somehow. And remember when I mentioned the issue of the accent, to say, you know what, when that happens, I used to have, well, it's much better now. It used to be worse. When that happens, I'll have a squeaky voice.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's something that I'm very, very mindful of. And I think sometimes overthinking about it, it has a way of standing on my way.
Yeah, and I think in regards to the accent, a lot of it can be what you think, what others are thinking. What are they thinking of you delivering with this accent, etc. But a lot of times when you're speaking, people are thinking about what you're saying, or they're thinking about the shopping they need to do after the talk, or what they've got to go and put on the washing and stuff. So I think with your accent, I'm always a supporter of never. There's two things you can do with your accent. You can have accent reduction or accent softening. And I'm not a fan of accent reduction, because I feel that it removes who the person is, because your accent says who you are, where you're from, how you speak. There's a lot. Yeah. So I'm not, unless obviously you're a movie star, like there's many movie stars like Idris Elba, he has accent reduction training to move from a British accent to an American accent. Fine. I 100% get that, because that's for a role. But I don't really support when my clients come to me and say, I need to speak with an American accent or a British accent so I can get this job. It's not my thing. I don't ever think someone should remove their accent to get a job, unless you're an actor, which is part of their show. I do agree with accent softening, which is what I mentioned to you about being very clear and conscious about how you're saying the R's and the pace and the tone, things like that. That's accent softening, just to sharpen up the articulation. That's something different, and that helps you to reach a wider audience, to communicate your message about your business, your voiceover career, speaking career, and the academy, that much more powerful. That's what I agree. That's what I kind of support and push to my clients and people who I work with, or people who ask me advice. Accent softening, you know. And then we talked about nerves. I'm just looking at your form when we're talking. You talked about disorganized when speaking. I think that just kind of goes down to, can you hear me, Octavia?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think, yeah. So just disorganized when speaking. I think just with that, just really have, I think have a bullet point or a plan of where you're going to go, what you want to say. So say, for example, with the academy, just say, for example, you're training keynote speakers. So the introduction would be, who are you? Why you're a great keynote speaker, where you've done speeches, and then like the basics of how to train up to be a keynote speaker, how to keep your listeners engaged, how to stay on the topic, to keep to time, pace, you know, all of those stuff. Then the conclusion of how people will be further trained or how they might be tested, any challenges you want to set, but have it as a bullet point. But don't, why people I think get jumbled is sometimes you need to have flexibility when you talk. So don't have all of the notes written down sentence by sentence, word by word, because if something happens, you need to stop, you need to pause, you can lose your train of thought. And you need to be able to have that flexibility. That's why I say have kind of bullet point notes or a plan, but not so detailed with every single sentence, because you need to be flexible when you talk, because sometimes you might have written down the plan, but one more thing comes, you're like, oh, I need to put this in, I need to add this bit of value here. Okay, so that's why I say you might feel disorganized because your plan is too tight. So you need to allow that flexibility and trust yourself that you can deliver as well. And just looking at else. We talked about your business, presentations, training, and it talked about the awards and the pageantry. And MCing is fun. Like I've been to some huge parties, like, well, not recently in lockdown, but I've been to some previous like Nigerian parties when there's MC women, MC men, and they are fun, full of energy, jokes, laughter. They're the life of the party. Like MCing that, or presentations or awards, charity events, balls, those. I think with MCing as well, just get yourself out there, because MCs have to be versatile. They need to be able to MC at a party, MC at a presentation, MC at a ballet recital. They need to be able to MC at all these different venues, wherever they're booked and stuff. So I think what's good about that is go and expose yourself to as many as you can do. I don't know how many are booking right now, but you could have like an online one, I guess, and really just get feedback from the audience. Go around when you're there, when you're not on the mic, go around and speak to people and ask them what they're thinking of the night and stuff like that. Get feedback from the listeners right there. That's what's good about doing MCing. That's what
Fantastic.
I love.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so those are all the questions from the form. We've done most of those. Things like nervous is what you mentioned today, and being bored, and those things do come out in your voice. Like your voice is so unique, it's just like a thumbprint. It can say and sound when you are ill, when you're frustrated, when you're happy, when all of these are things that you need to be mindful of, depending on who you're speaking to, because your listeners can pick up these things. And it's all about training, practicing every day, and get someone to listen to you and say, okay, tweak this word, have more passion, have more energy here, have the dramatic pause here in what you say there, things like that. So it's having someone listen to you and give you feedback and improvement tips, and then you go in again and trying in a different area environment to try and improve and tweak. But with speaking, it takes time, just like going to the gym, trying to lose weight, trying to build muscle. It takes time. You know, it's not just, oh, overnight I do a 10-day course and I'm ready. No, it takes time. And even though, yes, I may be a great speaker, but I always try each day to try and improve, take it day by day and stuff like that. But I can see that time is moving on us, Octavia. It's been so great to speak to you and do our class live. It's been really, really great. What I would suggest as well, did you get the template from the website? I think it was the speaking tips one. Did you get that one? Were you able to get that?
You sent through via email.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Excellent. You got that
Yes.
one. Okay. So I would think what would be like good next moves for you. So at the moment, is the academy open, or are you still working for it? Is it still in planning stages, the academy?
It's still in planning stages. And
Okay,
it's something that it's been I've been wanting to launch it for the past few years or so.
Mhm.
And I think I'm ready. I think hence I've reached out to say, look, can you come on board as my accountability partner, in that journey? So it's something that I suppose there are few pillars that I'd love to work on first before I launch it.
Sure.
Because I also don't want to launch it just for the sake of launching it,
No.
just for the sake of I can have a website and so on,
Yeah.
Yes. I think we can talk offline about that.
Okay. Yeah.
And
That'd be fine. Yeah, so it was really great speaking to you. And what I'll do is thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of your worries and your woes and your challenges and improvements. And I think what I'll do is we'll just finish the call now, and then you've got my email, isn't it? So what we'll do is we'll
Yes.
kind of chat through the email about what help I can offer kind of in the future with one of these areas, etc., just so we can clarify it. And it's been really great speaking to you today. I hope you got lots out of it and you got some tips to help you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a beautiful empowerment session as well.
Yay! Great.
And I'm really looking forward to the future. Hey.
Good. Excellent. Thank you so much for reaching out to me, Octavia. That was a bold move, That was a bold move and really, really well done. And then what we'll do is we'll chat on email about what the next stages are and how I can help you in the next stages and which parts I can help you or where I might be able to signpost you onto one of my other colleagues in the speaking industry who might be able to help you and propel you a bit more. Okay.
Fantastic. Thanks a million.
Excellent. Oh, you're welcome. All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks, you too. Bye now.
Bye. Bye.